Welcome everyone to our tutorial on mastering paint protection film software for vehicle application. My name is Ash Ellison and I'm the Avery Dennison Specialist Trainer here for the UK. And today I'll guide you through the core features and functionalities of this software whilst showing its application in real time. Be sure to always do a test cut before and always remove the capping sheet. So once we've installed the software, we open the main screen and this is how it'll look. It's important here that we are connected to the internet and we have a power supply to the laptop or computer that you're using. Once we open this main screen here, then we need to move through the database. Now it's important that we work through these in sequence, otherwise if we start to try and skip through, it will simply just say no data, okay? So it's very important that we work through these in sequence. So obviously here in the UK, we're European standard. So depending on where you're situated in the world, the different options are available. So we're going to select European standard. Then we choose the make of the car. So again, many available, as we can see in the drop-down menu. So we're just going to use BMW for an example, as they're quite a popular car here in the UK. And it's also important now that we navigate around the years, because we have a BMW M4 as an example. So we have this on a registration of 2020, which is the one here. So if we select this and then we choose the model, the BMW M4 isn't available, or so we think. So we move back a year because the model variant of this particular car is 2014 to 2019. So we select 2019. And then the BMW M4 is available. So we simply select that. Then again, we just move through the drop downs if it's a convertible or a coupe. And then once it reads no data, we know we've got the pattern here. So we simply click the open button. And this will then load the car into the software. And then once we've opened the correct car that we need, it's very important that we cross-reference against the actual vehicle. And what I mean by that is we need to make sure we've got the right model, that we're going to cut and install the correct pattern. For example, here we have two different front bumpers. We've got the pre-LCI, which have the washer jets into the bumper here under the headlights, and we also have a post-LCI that doesn't include the washer jets. So again, it's important that we check these against the car. As we can see here, from these sections that run from the rest of the bumper here, we can see they're a different shape. One of them allows for the carbon kit on the vehicle and one of them doesn't. So again, it's very important that we're checking these with the actual vehicle. And once we've done that and we're happy, we're then ready to start adjusting and tweaking our patterns. So what we do, once we've got everything open, we simply select, we hit the edit button up here, copy, and then we hit the paste button, and what that does is it copies and pastes everything here. Once we've done that, we can then start tweaking. So I will just remove these, as I've already prepared this, just to make things a little easier. And what I do with the pasted patterns is I pre-map the vehicle out. And again, I'm just doing this very simple to show you, as I've already prepared this. And we simply map the car out in bird's eye view. And the reason we do this is it just makes life easy when we're adjusting or tweaking any patterns. We've always got this to fall back on. So if we make any adjustments and they're not correct or we're not happy with them, we can simply just look up here and we can see a pre-mapped version of the car out. Sometimes when you're working with the patterns quite small, it's hard to tell where they're situated. So again, we can just look up here and know that this is for the wing mirror, or if it's a section from the boot area here, we've got them as a reference, okay? And now, once we're ready to adjust any patterns or tweak any patterns, it's important we do this up here. The white box indicates the film that we're going to plot on. And then once we've plotted on this area here, we simply move them below, which you'll see shortly. So the next step, after we've mapped the car out and we understand where each piece of pattern is going to be situated, now we can delve in to working through the editing tools. And this is where it's important, where we set customer expectation, and they're under the understanding of what we're going to take off the vehicle, if anything. For example, if we're going to start removing door handles, then we can simply remove this piece of pattern or this section of pattern so we get a more seamless finish, okay? So we can simply move this up here just so you can see. And the first editing tool here on the left hand side is simply edit. It's important that we have to have the pattern selected, so it's highlighted in green, as you can see here. Then once we hit the edit tool, you can see it brings up all these small blue boxes, or what we know are called node edits. Very simply, we can draw a box over the door handle section here. Once they're highlighted in white, as we can see, you simply hit the delete button on the keyboard and that will remove the door handle. And then once we go back to the move button, there is our edited pattern. So very simply, we highlight over the door handle and we can remove it. And it's important that we set customer expectation here, because they may be under the understanding we're not going to remove anything from the vehicle. If this is the case, then we simply leave these in here. For us, we like to take as much off the vehicle as we possibly can. Again, making sure the customer is happy with that. The same goes for badges. So we can simply hit the editing tool again here, and we can highlight the areas, simply hit delete on the keyboard, and we can remove the badges like that. Once we've done the edits, we can then move down to the measure tool. This is also very good if we're only going to do a front end package only. So again, we simply use the rear quarter as an example here. So what we need to do with the vehicle is measure where we're going to run and edit this pattern to. Once we've done that, we can hit our measure tool here. And this is a brilliant tool that I use quite regularly. So we zoom in, we make a click down, and we can simply run the tape measure up as far as we need to. And as we can see, it's incredibly accurate. So let's, for example, run to 700 millimeters. We can simply click there, and that will give us our measurement. Then we hit the move tool, and this gives us our accurate measurement here. So we select the pattern, and then we can make a cut through. I'm going to move down these edit tools in order, just to make it easier for you guys. So the next one we've got available is add shape. And we can simply add any shape we want, whether it's a polygon, rectangle, or round. So again, we can select, and we simply draw a shape, as easy as that. This can come in useful if we're going to make some unique patterns or bespoke patterns, then we can use the shapes. So it's quite good for that. Then the next one down is the pen tool, as we can see here. And again, this is quite useful if we're going to make any bespoke patterns, anything that we need to create ourselves. And we can simply just create any shape that we want, close the pattern, and then we run back up to the move tool. And then we have created our very own pattern using the pen tool here. Once we've finished with the pen tool and we've created our own bespoke pattern, the next one down is the add point. And for us to use this, we need to make sure the pattern is highlighted. So again, we can see here in green. We also need to make sure it's edit so we can see the blue node edits here. And then once we hit add point, we simply draw a line through where we need the add point to be added, and it simply puts one in for us there, as you can see. If we then need to adjust that, we can do. And then we've added the points we need to. The next option down is the cut tool. And again, this is one we use quite regularly. So the first one is if we're going to make a cut through the pattern, we simply just draw a line over where we want the pattern to cut, and it will simply cut through the pattern. The one we're going to use more often is the closed cut, which is the one below. So again, we make sure we select the pattern, and this is now where it coincides with the measuring tool, okay, I discussed earlier. So make sure the pattern is selected, and then we hit the closed cut, and we simply, where the measuring tool is, we make a cut through, and then once we've done this, you can see it simply cuts through the areas we need to. And this is a great tool for when we're doing a front end package and we're covering the section of the A-pills that we need to. We've also got the option of adding shadows, which again is a great tool. So we will use the door for an example. So I will drag this up, and what we do is we hit add shadow, and then if we slightly move this pattern, we can see here it's created a shadow line for us. So again, if we're making any tweaks, we're deleting anything, so we hit the delete button on the door handle. If we need to extend the pattern, we simply draw a box over these highlighted areas and we can stretch. And this will show the shadow underneath which we've created. So if we need to revert the pattern back to its original form, we've got the shadow there to help us do that. And then once you've finished with the shadow, you simply hit the delete and it removes the shadow. And the next step, after we've gone through the editing tools to the left hand side, is the rest of them sat in the top bar here. So we've simply got the undo and redo. So if we make any tweaks, we can just hit the buttons here. We've also got group and ungroup, which very simply just group patterns together and ungroup patterns together. Some of the key features we mainly work with are the flips, which I'm going to discuss shortly, and the expand, and again, another great tool. So once we've made some edits to the pattern, i.e. we remove the door handle, maybe we want to slightly increase the length of the pattern for a more wrapped edge, like so. Once we've done that, we simply select the pattern. So again, it's highlighted in green as we can see. Then we hit the edit, copy, edit, paste. And then what we do now is we hit the flip button here. So flip horizontal, and that simply flips it over to the other side of the car. So we know we're not having to go back to the opposite side of the car, making the same adjustments, wasting time. We can simply just use the flip tool here. So it's a very, very good feature. You've also got the option of flipping vertically if need be. The flip tool also comes in very useful here, as we made the edit earlier for a front end package that we discussed. So as we can see, we made the cut through the pattern after using the measuring tool. So again, we can simply select this, so it's highlighted in green. We hit edit, copy, edit, paste. This replicates the pattern here, and then we simply flip horizontal, and again, this gives us the opposite side of the car, so we know both of these patterns will fit perfectly. So the flip tools are a great feature. The next one we're going to discuss is the expand button here. So again, I'll use this pattern here as an example. So zooming in, selected so we can see it highlighted in green. Then we hit the expand button, and it brings up this box here. So we can expand the edge 1mm, 2mm, 5mm, 10mm, or bespoke. So we can simply type in 20mm here. We also tick the box here for entire extension. And if you watch the pattern to the background, as you can see here, once we hit OK, it simply enlarges the full pattern. So again, this is a very good feature if we're wanting to create more of a wrapped edge or a bespoke pattern that we need to expand. So this is also a very, very great feature. And this is all the editing tools now explained. And now we've finished explaining all the editing tools, it's very important that we now hit the save button. Before we do that, we're going to use this font option here. And this is another great feature because we can add remarks or notes into the software after we've made some edits. For example, here we've removed the door handle. We've used a section of the rear quarter to create the front end package. We've removed parking sensors, badges, whatever it may be. We can make some notes. So we hit the font, add font. We simply click on the screen and it will bring this box up here. In here we can write whatever we want. So sensors removed, badges removed, door handles removed. Oh. And we hit OK. Well, before we do that, you can change the font if you want. You've got many options here. We can also decrease or increase the text size here. Once we've done that, we simply hit OK and it puts the text in here. Oh. So we simply select all that. I normally just move them above the edits I've made to make things easy. So once we've done that, so it's a great tool we can use adding the font. You can make any remarks that you want. And it also helps massively when we hit the save button and we start working through the share options, which I'll discuss now. So once we've done this, we hit save up here. Again, we can name the file whatever we need. For me, I always put the vehicle model, maybe the month that we've created or done the work. And we can also put the actual model of the car as well, which in this instance is an F82. Once we've done that, we simply hit new file and it will save. And it will bring this box up here. So we hit OK. And then now we've got this folder saved. And it's a great tool because if we come to do another one of these vehicles in maybe 12 months, 2 years, whatever it may be, rather than redoing it all and re-editing everything, we can simply just open the old file. So it's a great feature. So how we do that, we'll go back to the original file. So we'll just remove these sections out of the pre-cut edit. So now we go back to the database. We're normally situated here in the general data. So all we do is move over to my data, which is the option here. And this will bring up all the saved options here. All we do, whichever job that we need, we simply hit the open button. Give it a few moments. And you can see it brings up everything that we saved in that original file, including any remarks or notes that we made. So it's a great feature for the software. Also another great feature, again if we drop back into the database, in my data is the option of share, which is the button here. And once we get more people in the network using this, then this is a really, really good feature. We're looking at creating maybe closed Facebook groups, WhatsApp groups, whatever it may be for the installers. And then we can share these options with each other. For example, if someone approaches me because I've done the BMW M4, the F82 model, I've already installed the patterns, I know they fit perfectly, I can simply just share this file with this person. We can put any remarks in there that we need to. We all get a unique share ID when we install the software. So all we do is request the share ID, we put that in and we simply hit the share button. And that will then share this particular file with that person. So it's a really good feature for the software. And now we've finished showing the save options and share options, now we're going to move on to plotting the material. So we jump back into the pre-cut edit here. And as I touched on earlier in the video, we work above the box here. Anything that we're going to plot, we move into the white box, which is this section here. And then once we've finished plotting, we move below. So now we select this section here and we move this down onto the white area here. Now it's very important that when we're plotting, we only have what we're going to plot on this section here. And what I mean by that, if we accidentally pull this here, even though it's not highlighted, we're going to plot this section, it will still read the full piece. So anything in this section, it will plot. So very important, we keep everything out other than what we're going to plot. And it's important to work with a nice workflow, and this is why I start at the top and work my way down. So I'm going to highlight these sections here, and these are what we're going to now plot on the machine, which we're going to do now. And now we're going to load the paint protection film into the plotter. So we start by laying it on the rollers here and pushing it through the rear of the machine. And now we've made sure the material is tracking straight, it's important that we now set the blade to the correct depth. And now we've got the machine set up ready to cut. We simply go back to the software, we select the patterns that we need, and we now cut them. We hit the plot button, we select our Graphtec machine, we hit the model here in this box. Where it says finish plotting, we hit the drop down menu and go for option, go to the end position, because once it finishes plotting the material, it leaves it there and we can simply cut the material off. So once we select that, then we simply hit the plot button here and you can hear the machine running, and then we get a pop-up box that says successfully sent. Some of the frequently asked questions I get are pattern availability. So now I'm going to explain about why it's important to navigate around these options. For example, we're looking for a Lamborghini Urus Performante. So here we're in European standard. We drop down to select Lamborghini. This was a new car, so 2023. And as we can see, the Urus isn't available. However, we go back here and select Chinese standard. We scroll down to select Lamborghini, hit the year, and then here we've got the option of a Urus. In particular, we're looking for the Performante, which is here. And once we've worked through the drop-down menus and we can see no data, then we can open the pattern. And this is the pattern that we require. If you've navigated around the menus and the car still isn't available, then very simple, we just hit the help button here. We copy the email address and we email them with the full make and model of the car that we require. And once we've emailed them with the full make and model, all we're doing is looking for an email back to say that they're working on it and the patterns have been added. And you'll notice every time you open the software, it constantly updates. Patterns get put into the software on a daily, weekly basis. And this is where it's important that the software is always connected to the internet. Thank you for joining us in this tutorial. I hope you've learnt the key fundamentals of using our paint protection film software. For more information, please visit the website ppfad.eu.